This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report, that music at the bar, Dirty 3. We're broadcasting on over 700 stations on Pacifica and NPR, low-power FM, college and community stations, on public access TV and PBS TV stations, and both TV satellite networks, Dish Network Channel 9415, Free Speech TV, 9410, Link TV, and Direct TV Channel 375. And we're video and audio podcasting at democracynow.org. Our headlines are also available in Spanish for any radio station to take, as up to 200 stations are around the world. Well, the U.S. prison camp at Guantanamo has become a symbol of the so-called war on terror since it was created more than 6 years ago. Over 800 men and boys, so-called enemy combatants, have been held without charge at Guantanamo since January 11, 2002. Not one of these prisoners has been put on trial. Hundreds have been released without charge after years behind bars. 4 prisoners have committed suicide. Many others have tried to do that as well. This weekend, 3 former Guantanamo prisoners will talk for the first time to a U.S. audience about their prison experiences. The event is being organized by the Guantanamo Testimonials Project, University of California Davis-based effort to catalog accounts of prisoner abuse. I'll interview the 3 former prisoners via video conference from Sudan. All 3 men, Adel Hammad, Salim Adam, and Hamad Ali, Amogad Aliyah, were classified and imprisoned as enemy combatants and held without charge for years before being released without explanation. Of the 3, Adel Hammad is the most well-known. He was a hospital administrator in Sudan when he was arrested and imprisoned at Guantanamo for over 5 years. During his imprisonment, activists here in the United States had started a campaign to secure his release called Project Hammad. The group's website included a popular video that told Adel Hammad's story. It featured family members like his brother-in-law, Adil Atayib.
The way we knew Adel, his situation, and his life, we did not believe that Adel would be in prison for 5 years. Now 5 years have passed, and no one knows what will happen next. We hope that Adel will come back and be united with his family again.
The web video put out by Project Hammad also included actor Martin Sheen.
I'm Martin Sheen. We Americans must not allow fear to overcome our faith in the laws and values that have made this country great, like the right to a fair hearing in a court of law, like the right to know and respond to the charges against you, like the right not to be detained indefinitely, even by order of the President. All of these rights are protected by the United States Constitution. I've been asked to speak to you about Adel Hammad, detainee number 940 in Guantanamo. Mr. Hammad was abducted from his home nearly 5 years ago during a sweep of foreigners in Pakistan and sent to Guantanamo, where he is still being held without a court hearing, even though all the evidence gathered confirms he is an innocent man, a hard-working hospital administrator. Meanwhile, Adel Hammad's wife and 4 children in Sudan continue to suffer without him. She has written to President Bush asking for justice, but has received no reply. No one should be detained without a court hearing just on the word of a president.
Actor Martin Sheen talking about former prisoner Adel Hammad, who was held at Guantanamo for 5 years. He's one of the 3 former Guantanamo prisoners I'll be interviewing from Sudan via video conference tomorrow at University of California, Davis. Almerindo Ojeda is a professor of linguistics at UC Davis and principal investigator of the Guantanamo Testimonials Project. He joins us here in Los Angeles. Welcome to Democracy Now!, Professor Almerindo. Talk about this Guantanamo Testimonial Project.
The Guantanamo Testimonials Project is an initiative that we created in 2005, and the goals of that initiative are to gather testimony of prisoner abuse at Guantanamo, to organize it in meaningful ways, to make it widely available online, and to preserve it there in perpetuity. We've been at it for 3 years, and we've gathered hundreds of testimonies from prisoners and guards, lawyers, all sorts of people that have had first-hand experience at the prison.
And what inspired this?
What inspired this?
The event that is happening this weekend.
An old student of ours in Davis went back to the Sudan to work. He was a Sudanese American and became a journalist there. And he got to know 3 former prisoners from the Sudan, and he contacted me saying if we wanted to talk to them, and we said, of course.
And what was their response when you first contacted these prisoners? How long have they been out? How long have they been out of Guantanamo?
They've been out since 2007, so a year and a little bit more perhaps. They were in prison for years, some of them without any explanation, really none of them with any credible explanation. And they're anxious to tell their stories to the American public. Can
you give some description of these 3 men?
Sure. One of them is Adel Hammad, whom you talked about before. He was a hospital administrator, indeed. He claims to have been tortured in Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan before being transferred to Guantanamo. He was then tried on secret evidence and cleared for release in 2004, but wasn't actually released until 2007.
So he was held for 3 more years.
After being cleared in these dubious trials that they get in the prison. Another one is Hamad Amnu. He claims to have witnessed prisoner abuse at Guantanamo beatings. There apparently was some kind of protest after the Quran was withdrawn from a prisoner who was held in isolation. So he started protesting, and the whole wing of the prison started protesting. And he witnessed, Hamad Amnu did,